Now we move on towards the second topic, vertebrae. Second topic means the second question which is given, the vertebrae, its development, structure in various parts of the vertebral column, variants and anomalies, connection between the vertebrae and atlanto-occipital joint, and movements in the joint. Now, according to this question, what is the answer which is expected? As I'm telling, first is the vertebral column development. You should not tell into like deep, but you should have the idea that what is the development of vertebrae. Even if they are cross questioning, you should know. So as I said in the previous video also, you should know the embryology basic thing, how the three layers are developed, how the neural tube and all those things are developed, and then only from the mesoderm you can get to know that how this vertebrae and bones are going to get into development. Now see, as in this structure, the mesenchymal cells, this mesenchymal cells has a sclerotomes. Okay, this mesenchymal cells has a sclerotome. There are three main areas around the notochord. That is neural main three areas around the notochord, neural tube, and the body wall. Okay. Now in this, see, this is the part of the sclerotome. Okay, this part is the sclerotome of the mesoderm. Now it differentiate into, see, this structure. It has the upper and inferior, like a caudal part. So this layers are there. Okay. Now this like frontal section, paired condensation of the mesenchymal area around the notochord, loosely arranged cranially and dense packed cells caudally. Okay, see, this is the caudal part. Here is the dense packed mesenchymal cells. Okay, and there in the frontal section there is loosely arranged cells. Now what happened? Some densely packed cells move cranially opposite the center of the myotomes and then forms the intervertebral disc. See, this part, this upper and lower part get fused. Okay, this upper and lower part. Okay. Then there is a gap between this. Here it is formed the intervertebral disc. The remaining cells fuses to the centrum, body of the vertebrae. Each centrum developed from two sclerotomes and intersegmental structures. Now now there is like intersegmental arteries line each side of the vertebral bodies. See this. Okay. This is not that much they would ask, but still you should know the knowledge, like you should know about it. For that you need to study the embryology properly. Now basic things about the vertebrae. This is the anterior aspect. This is the posterior aspect. Okay, and this is the lateral aspect. Okay. Now part 1 is the cervical part, which is written in the Roman number. This is the cervical vertebrae, cervical part. Okay. Second is the thoracic. With this I would write the number also, C7, T12. Okay. Third one is the lumbar, L5. Sacrum is the fused F5 vertebrae, and coccygeal, it is a 1, which is also fused. Sorry. Coccygeal. Now here, see, this I would explain in the next video also, what is curves of the vertebrae. Now this which is formed, okay, this is the cervical region, right? Okay, and this one is the lumbar. Now this cervical and lumbar, it forms a curve called lordosis, and this is the thoracic part, and this is the sacrum part. This both forms kyphosis. Okay, now you would say, what is this fifth one which I've marked? I've not mentioned it. This is a promontory of sacrum. Sacrum. Till now it is clear, all the basic things I've told. Now, before going towards this like anomalies of the bones and trunk, I would like to tell again, I have told in the previous video also. Below this video, I would put the link of the each and every vertebrae which I have explained in detail about the cervical vertebrae, thoracic, lumbar, sacrum, and also about the atlanto-occipital joint, atlanto-axial joint. Okay, but still, if you want, I would tell the basic things of the atlanto-axial joint, because it's mentioned here also, atlanto-occipital joint. Okay, now atlanto-occipital joint forms between the now this atlanto-occipital joint, it forms between the atlas, which is the C1, and between the occipital bone. Okay, in the condylar part, and this superior facet, this forms a pivot. In this atlanto-occipital joint, the movement in this joint would be flexion and extension. There are two types of joints here, which is atlanto-occipital joint and which is atlanto-axial joint. Atlanto-axial joint forms between the atlas and the axis, and atlanto-occipital joint forms between the atlas and occipital bone, and its movement is flexion and extension. This answer would they would expect, and also the ligaments and joints. This part I would explain in the ligaments and joint part, but please go and watch my video, it would help you a lot. So don't miss it, just don't depend on this. This is important, this is the kind of outline for you. It gives the outline that what the main points you should present in front of them in the viva, but still you should know the previous knowledge. Now the main variants and anomalies of the bones and bones of the trunk are: the first one is the fusion of the C1 vertebrae with the skull, and in that assimilation of the atlas may combine with the cleft of the posterior arc of this vertebrae. Now the second is the cleft of the vertebral arc, which is pinna bifid, is more frequently for the lumbar and sacral vertebrae. The number of sacral vertebrae can increase at the expense of the last lumbar vertebrae, which is sacralization. Sometimes the number of the sacral vertebrae is reduced to 4 with a simultaneous increase in the number of the lumbar vertebrae, which is lumbalization. And sometimes there are foramina in the body and xiphoid process of the sternum. This point would come in the thoracic part also when we would study the sternum. Okay, now these are the anomalies which can happen, which is different from the normal. These are the few points which can happen which are different from the normal things. Now till here I have cleared the covered the main points. You should have the complete knowledge about it, so please go and watch the videos. Before watching the videos also, you should go through the books, then only you should come to the video, so that you should have it in the back of the mind that what you are studying. Okay, so thank you. The next video I would put on the vertebral column as a whole anatomy, its curve, which I have explained in this also, and the main part, which is the muscles that produce the movement of the spinal column. That muscles I would take in detail also later, but here it is mentioned, so I need to tell this. So thank you, keep studying, bye bye.